In terms of my investments, a big one has been the farm in South America, where I've been building now for about a year and a half. And then the one most recently that I announced was the Green Light Project, but I joined with an organization called Omade International to fundraise to open an orphanage / clinic / school in Afghanistan, in Kabul. Whether we talk about Afghanistan or Iraq or anywhere else, the message that we also send to people is that occupation is not victory. You know, that mission accomplished shit is bullshit. What did we? There's no victory there. Just because I hold it down, you know, might doesn't make right. It just makes right now.
Can you talk a minute, because of Viper Records, you do a lot of prison reform. You go to a lot of prisons. You came out of prison. I assume that's what shaped a lot of your worldview. Some of your background that led you to be the open thinker that you are today and be speaking on all these issues.
I mean, for me, the prison reform stuff and the issue and the things I've dealt with in prisons lately has been a lot more with youth detention facilities, because some of these young brothers have been so brainwashed that they really believe that getting ahead means that they have to live like an animal, you know what I mean? Like that prison is a rite of passage. Yeah. But it's not. Yeah, it's not a rite of passage. It is just slavery, 100%. You know, they call him the warden because you're a ward of the state. You belong to them.
But you were brought up in Christianity. You actually, you have somewhat of a religious background that you kind of share.
Well, I wasn't an altar boy or nothing, nigga. You know what I mean? I
definitely did not.
I went to church. I went to church as a child, and I think that it's interesting to me when you look at religion and how few people know actually the history of their religion. If you believe in Christianity, then why haven't you learned about the history of the Roman Empire? You think that Jesus was singled out? Like, no, there were thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that were crucified before. I'm telling niggas right now, like even that science, even the fact that he was a rabbi, that he was a dark-skinned Hebrew, the fact that he was preaching that physicality was what Judaism was moving towards, and that needed to be reformed. And he was denied by the Pharisee. People said, no, that's not true. We can, change money in the temple and shit like that. He's like, you're turning this into a business. Religion's supposed to be, so I think that there have been many people that have come throughout the years to try to reform it, and they've been resisted the most by their own religion. Regardless of anything, to touch on any topic, to me, it's very symbolic, because even if you take any artist in the game right now who has that imagery of religion, Jesus Christ wasn't crucified on no shiny piece of diamond-encrusted platinum. He was crucified on a dirty piece of wood.
I always find it strange when I see the gold.
And I'll end the religious discussion just by saying that, we look at history and mythology, and we laugh sometimes. We think, how could Greeks worship some guy named Ares as the god of war? And 2,500 years ago, we look at Egyptians and we think, isn't that ridiculous? They prayed to a man with a bird's head, thinking that was going to bring them peace in their life. Like, we look at that in mockery. Anybody who lives in this day and age would be like, that makes absolutely no sense. But if humanity exists for another 2,500 years, if we even make it to 2,500 years, you know what? People are going to look back at us and they're going to say, look at these fucked up people. They prayed to a dead man nailed to a piece of wood, and they couldn't understand the most basic principle he was trying to teach y'all, which is treat other people the way you want to be treated.
True enough. True enough.